Thank you for joining us today. We're thrilled you're here. The session is about to begin. Please welcome to the stage Jessica Hawk, CVP of Azure.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pretty exciting day for us. I got to start the party this morning, if anybody was in the keynote arena early. And this afternoon, we get to talk about something that is pretty near and dear to my heart, which is the way that we are investing and empowering the next generation of builders, and everything that we're doing with Red Bull and AMD around this amazing hackathon experience. So I am going to take you through a little bit of a memory journey. Last year, we partnered with AMD and Red Bull to sponsor their global basement hackathon program over 2,000 universities around the world. This is an amazing program that Red Bull runs, and it was Microsoft's first time, I believe, being a sponsor. Funny story, their team reached out to me cold call on LinkedIn, you guys. Cold call. I don't read all my LinkedIn messages, let's be real clear. But I do love Red Bull, I'm not gonna lie. And I clicked on it, I opened it up, and we made some magic together. And so just a little bit of context of what you're about to see is a quick video we put together to help you understand what the program is all about, and then we're gonna bring some folks up to talk about it.
It all started with one idea. Over 110,000 applications. 40 teams from 39 countries have flown from all over the world.
Always just dreamt of making a difference.
To meet in Tokyo at the Red Bull Basement World Finals.
How's everybody doing tonight? So can we give a round of applause to these wonderful partners, AMD and Microsoft.
We've learned so much in just 2 days.
Like amazing people, amazing talks, amazing workshops.
He's got a lot of energy, and he is from AMD. Please welcome Ryan Sega.
Together with Red Bull Basement and the limitless potential of AI, you have the opportunity to shape the future in ways that before were not possible.
Thank you for being a part of this transformative journey. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to each of you for your dedication.
So let this be your moment to innovate, explore, create, and redefine what's possible.
The AMD laptop in general really gave me the confidence boost, and at the same time, it gave me much more perspective in what I wanted to do.
The laptop helps a lot in terms of time and efficiency. We are just two, but with him, we are more.
For me, my purpose is really to build something bigger than myself.
Together, we will advance the future.
From the Philippines, AgriConnect!
Thank Red Bull for giving me a chance, for taking a chance on me and everyone here, because I share this win not only for myself, but for the 40 other people that are here today for keeping us together.
All right. Big round of applause for our AV folks. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And then I have the honor of introducing Josh, joining us from AMD. Thank you for being here, sir.
Pleasure.
And Gauthier, did I say it properly?
Perfectly.
Je parle français un peu?
Oh.
C'est Gauthier, joining us from Red Bull. So hello, gentlemen. Shall we have a chat?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So I'll try to stick to the cards. I'm not real good at sticking to the cards, so we'll see how we do, okay? Gauthier, we're going to start with you. What inspired Red Bull to invest in student creators?
Yeah, so when most people hear about Red Bull, they think about Red Bull supporting top athletes, the world of sports, culture. That's totally right. In a sense, the same energies that goes into supporting athletes and athletes pushing their limits goes into fueling young innovators to come up with their ideas and to potentially change the world. So creativity and innovation have always been part of Red Bull's DNA. Since day one, Red Bull gives wings to people and ideas since 1987. And whether it's in sports, in culture, or innovation. But to your question on student innovation, I think when we look at universities, those are a breeding ground for innovation, for creativity. This is where all the latest trends are born, but also when we think about some of the top companies of this world at the moment, they were actually started from basements or dorms of universities when we think about the Facebook, the Figma, the Stripe, all of these, and actually also Microsoft.
I was going to say, there's another one on that list.
So yeah, I think investing in student innovation is actually investing in the next generation of breakthrough, so that's important.
Love it, love it. And is there, so you've been part of the program for quite some time, give us a taste of some of the most inspirational ideas that you've seen come through the program.
Yeah, so we would have seen in the video, in the last edition alone, we got 110,000 ideas coming through. And of course, it's a lot of variety of different ideas. For me, I absolutely love those ideas that are tackling some of the biggest issues in this world. So of course, everything around climate change or health tech accessibility. And speaking of which, I don't want to spoil the rest of the session, but I know we have Daniel and Arjun coming up on stage. So perhaps I talk also a bit about 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗀𝗏 that you've seen on the video as well, which was he was our global winner from last time, and I know you were there as well. 𝗦𝗽𝗲 came with an AI platform that helps agribusinesses to monitor their crops and identify threats early in order to maximize yield, but also to reduce food waste, which is of course an issue which is very dear to his home country in the Philippines, but can be applicable anywhere else in the world, which is what I think the beauty of this program, to see real tech that can be applied in the real world and make an actual impact.
And remind me, how many years have you guys been running the program?
So the program has been running for the last 10 years. It was
Okay.
actually started in 2015.
Yes.
It started as a small hackathon in the basement of a university in Brazil. And since then, it has grown to the world, one of the top innovation program for students around there. And 5 global editions have been going on so far. So.
And there was one, when we were doing the final awards in Tokyo, we met right before we did the big event. And we talked about the number of applications that he just mentioned. And it had been a pretty significant increase, as I recall.
Absolutely.
What was the number, 110,000 or so?
Yes.
Okay. And I remember, do you remember I asked you in the room, why do you think there's been such a big jump in applications? What was the answer? Do you recall?
Yeah, absolutely. So there was actually indeed a big increase from the edition previously to that one, because that's when we started, of course, to partner with Microsoft and AMD. And the reason for that is because we started to implement AI in the application process. So that's why we have this technology on the website that really helped everyone around, the students in all those 40 countries participating, to actually help them refine their idea and to brainstorm and to really help them to bring those issues to the program. So that's where we saw this massive increase.
Yeah, and it wasn't a tee-up to say it's Microsoft showed up. I definitely wasn't saying that. But the thing that I did find really interesting is we often say that AI is the most patient tutor and private coach. And as a student, getting the confidence to say my idea could be the winner across more than 2,000 universities, then you have that opportunity to really work on the concept and refine the pitch and then submit. And I think that was a pretty important learning. It's not a technology learning, it's actually a human learning, which is why I teed it up. So I'm gonna pivot over to Josh for a second. Why, can you just talk about AMD's interest and focus on building this next generation of builders?
Absolutely, great question. Thank you, Jessica. So at AMD, we're supporting student developers and young entrepreneurs, and it's all about investing in the future, really for us all, right? These are tomorrow's tech leaders, if you think about it, right? By helping them explore AI, software, hardware now, we're really investing in a smarter and more inclusive future. So students don't see limits at this point, right? They're just really focused on the problems that need solving at hand, right? So with energy efficient AMD systems, I'd say it would powered by Red Bull, but but tools like Microsoft Copilot, right? And then platforms like the Red Bull basement itself, we really help turn these ideas into a reality for all these students, right? And if you come to think about it, right, supporting them, in their hopes and dreams and their aspirations with all these great ideas, it's not optional, right? It's how we keep innovation alive and diverse.
Yeah, it's such a great point. I think at this point, I'm going to kick off a video that is hopefully going to run. Yes? Okay, let's have a tech person walk up. Let's talk to some of these student innovators. We actually have a great video for you to watch to learn about what they built, and then we're going to bring them on stage, and I'm going to ask them some questions. So I'm not clicking forward. Not yet. Shall we try it? Ready?
Hey Argus, what am I looking at?
You are looking at a room with several wooden tables and chairs.
Argus, what's the room number and what are the names on the door?
The room number is 306. The names are Francisco Ciballo and Arjun Oberoi.
Argus, what pills am I holding?
Sure. You are holding a bottle of ibuprofen, 200 milligrams tablets. There are also 2 green bottles nearby.
Oh, we'll talk about all this later, guys. Well, welcome to the stage, guys. So this is Daniel and Arjun. They are the winners of the US competition and the Imagine Cup that Microsoft runs every year. So they are double trouble. And we've invited them up to, oh, do I need to click forward? Thanks, guys. There we are. Sorry, you have the humans here, but for those who are online, that's a fair point. So I think everybody just kind of wants to hear the origin story. What was, like, where were you? What were you doing when you came up with the idea? Did you guys argue about it? Did you iterate a bunch? Just give us the backstory on the concept.
Yeah, so Arjun and I are both pretty much on the same wavelength regarding the idea from the beginning. Like, both of our grandparents had severe, uncorrectable visual impairments, and to us, this was a very personal problem that, you know, we saw in their day-to-day lives, and we wanted to be able to create something that, you know, wasn't unreliable. Like, a lot of the solutions out there that are like wearables that would be able to help with like image recognition are all dependent on cellular connection and cloud. Like, while we have the cloud available, which we use through Azure, we also have the edge computing, which allows us to be like reliable even in like parking garages, for example. So yeah, this was like something that we wanted our grandparents to be able to have, something that just like wouldn't ever fail, was always there for them.
And just to give a quick overview of what Argus is, because you saw a video, it's a voice assistant for people who are visually impaired to help with things like identifying pills and like understanding what's around you, to make these tasks, enable independence for these tasks.
And were there moments where it felt too hard?
Oh, all the time, yeah.
Yeah, I think some of the moments that felt too hard for us were honestly largely technical times, because Daniel and I were doing this as students, and like just understanding and learning all across the hardware and software stack is quite a challenge for us to just learn all of that really rapidly. I think that's one thing we're thankful for all the mentorship that we've gotten for, though, because that just makes it really easy for us to like just call an expert at AMD, Microsoft, to just like be like, help us with this computer vision thing. And they were always available to help us there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Can you talk about the role that empathy plays in the designing process and the user feedback loop? And I guess maybe just take the room through how you thought about connecting with your users. As product makers, that's the #1 job often. So can you just talk a little bit about that?
Right. I think like building with empathy at its core is like probably the most important aspect of building any accessibility device, probably any other product. But particularly for accessibility, we really need to understand the day-to-day issues that people like our grandparents face. So it's like if we didn't like have that kind of lived experience, watching them go through like, you know, bumping into walls or having trouble finding their pills, these are all use cases that we probably wouldn't have thought of and like wouldn't have included like all the haptics features, all the different other accessibility features that we have, knowing that they want to have this device even where there's no cellular, knowing that, you know, elderly people don't want to have to like constantly be thinking about the device and whether or not it's going to have enough battery. So these are all things that we you know, really honed in on, and I think our lived experiences helped us like hone in on those things.
Anything you want to add?
I think this problem is really personal to Daniel and I, because like my grandpa suffers from macular degeneration, and like just seeing them and asking them about their lives has been like one of the things that's really guided how we've built Argus, because that is just like such a deeply important problem to us. And like as seeing people, me and Daniel, like we can't just assume what we think visually impaired people have to like need. So I think really just having that be such a personal problem to us has made it easier for us to figure out how to guide the product.
Makes sense. And then can you talk about, talk a little bit more about moving from the technology to the business side of starting something? What kind of support, what was impactful about the process of working with Red Bull and AMD and the entire program?
Yeah, so Arjun and I are both kind of like engineers at our hearts. So it was kind of probably our biggest weakness going into the whole competition, but we got incredible mentorship from everyone across Red Bull who has like incredible storytellers, and you have like the people from Microsoft and AMD who really know their tech, you know, and they also know how to scale out these like massive businesses. So getting their perspective and the wealth of experiences was something that was monumental to our whole journey. And there's like no way we would have been able to do it without all that incredible mentorship, all the patience, all the time that they poured into us. So learned an incredible amount from the business side. Yeah.
We put them through all kinds of pitch trauma,
yes.
I think, guys. But we brought in a bunch of experts, those who have done this and gone through the process of getting investment. And so it wasn't just the technology coaching, it was also a lot around how do you deliver a really compelling pitch to get that first round of funding that's so critical when you're building a startup.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty awesome. Okay. Well, guys, I want to say thank you and congratulations. Anything you want to share with the room about what's coming for your company?
Yeah, we have a couple different extra steps coming. We're trying to get insurance contracts across different states like Florida, Pennsylvania, Ohio. We're hoping that through these programs we'll be able to distribute these devices and also be able to provide comprehensive healthcare for everyone that's struggling out there right now. So I think we have pretty lofty aspirations, but yeah, we're hopeful about making a change.
You doing your homework still?
Well, I personally dropped out. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not advocating for any of that. Now I'm in trouble. If my kids are watching. Congratulations, you guys. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. I'm going to bring us home, and then we're going to open the room up for questions or tossing Red Bulls out, whatever you guys decide. I'll start with you, Gauthier. You want to talk a little bit about how our Through-A partnership came together?
Absolutely. So this partnership really came together, I think, based on a shared value about innovation and really making an impact in the real world. I think that's one of the things that Microsoft, AMD, and Red Bull have in common. And of course, when we look at Red Bull Basement, AMD and Microsoft bring the tech. The question is, what is Red Bull bringing to this program? And when you think about it, often the tech community can feel a little bit intimidating if you're not part of it. And this program runs in about 40 countries, around, I think you said it, about 2,000 universities. And what this really does, it really helps to open the doors, because these ideas on how to use the tech can actually come from any kinds of walks of life. So we actually really expand this program to a lot of different countries, a lot of different ideas, lots of different fields, and this brings a very nice ecosystem together with the technology of bringing innovation in the forefront.
Yeah, I think we've seen it over and over and over again. I used to joke in the early days of Gen AI, for my software developers in the room, thank goodness Agile came before ChatGPT, because we already had that mentality of we have to do everything iteratively. And Gen AI just presented yet another moment where essentially everything that you think is about the way a business is organized, or about what the SDLC looks like, or how projects and software are built, it's all getting re-litigated. And students, they have no boundaries or expectations of how you do user requirements. You probably didn't write a 30-page Word document to define your business requirements for your app. Like, you didn't do any of that, right? It's just a whole new way of thinking. And so having this unlock at the student level, I think the idea generation is just amazing. So Josh, I'm going to flip to you.
Yes.
What were some of your key learnings from the partnership?
I think one key thing here that we learned, Jessica, is that innovation happens when curiosity meets capability, and it's our partnership together that made this all possible, right? So at AMD, we work with partners like you and Microsoft, and our friends at Red Bull, right, to ensure that that capability, the compute power, the AI acceleration, the performance efficiency on device is available to anyone with that passion to build. Right? And you just look at the amazing projects that have come out, like Argus, it really is just fantastic what you guys have done with Red Bull Basement. I'm just floored, it's awesome. So congratulations to you guys.
And then what would you guys say makes this collaboration different from your traditional sponsorships or programs?
So what makes Red Bull Basement very different, I think, is that it's really an investment in the early stage ideas. Because we believe that innovation doesn't start when you have your MVP ready or when you are ready to jump on stage to pitch your idea, but it really starts at the spark of that idea, right? So, or when you identify that issue that you want to tackle. And that's really where we're coming from with Red Bull Basement, and that's the reason why we have been doing this for the last 10 years, and it has grown into a very nice community, but also every global edition lasts for a full semester. So it's not like a one-off program. It's really more of a journey where you start with the application phase, then this is when you refine your idea, you jump into a selection phase, development phase, and then you get to the world final. Yes, you end up pitching on the final stage, of course, that's part of it, but it's not the only thing. Because we believe also that the new generation is not just about chasing a quick idea or a quick business idea, but really also wants to create something with meaning and purpose, and that takes time.
And then how do you think about helping these students scale?
So for scaling, I would say two main things, and then we touched a bit on that. I think there's one part on this ongoing support that you can provide, and of course the technology, because in 2025, of course, when we talk about scaling, it's a lot about AI. And looking at what can be done now with just one person can create a product that's going to be used by millions. Some people actually think that we are not too far away from the next billion-dollar company run by a team of one. Let's see. But the other point about ongoing support is something that we really care a lot about at Red Bull, and we touched on that a little. It's really the human touch, because Red Bull is a very humanistic brand, and we firmly believe that AI and the tech is not enough. We also need the right mentors, the right experts, the community to grow with, and that's the two main components of Red Bull Basement.
So Josh, I'm going to flip to you and ask you about your technology.
Okay.
There were some things that you guys made available to the students in 2024. You want to share a little bit about that and what's coming?
Sure. Thanks for the question. So since last year's competition, the pace of change in AI has been just absolutely incredible. Right? I'm sure you're seeing it in Azure. We're seeing it on the client device side as well. You introduced Copilot Plus, which is really an exciting moment for both of our companies, right? And then at the time of Red Bull Basement, right, we introduced the students and entrepreneurs to Ryzen AI systems for the very first time. They got an on-device, hands-on AI experience that supported real-time image processing, local language models, or large language models, I should say, computer vision, and it all runs locally, right? Now the next-gen systems that we've just released, they provide even more performance and power efficiency. So now founders can build and test their AI models on device without having to always rely on the cloud. Now that being said, right, you can still harness the power of Azure to scale when you need it, right? Mm-hmm. Because not everything's gonna run on device, let's face it, right? So, the mantra I think we're trying to pitch, at AMD is you start local, but you can scale global.
Yeah. It's interesting how many of the finalists, because I got to sit through all those final pitches, there was this element of local at the edge, and then what cloud compute can do to serve that. And it's kind of in my mind at least, it's a slightly new way to think about it. There's been so much migration, modernization. I think AI has opened up all kinds of use cases at the edge, and things that we've been chasing for about 2 or 3 decades now feel slightly achievable in a way that they haven't been before. So I think about the need to have the devices work in places where there aren't cellular. If I think about our global winter and those signals coming from the crops in the field, they may be connected, they may not be. It was all at the edge. So it feels like it's a great moment for technical cloud computing innovation, but also hardware innovation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Gauthier, is going to flip to you very quickly and just for the room, are there any lessons that you think, we've got a bunch of enterprise decision makers in the room. We're talking about college kids, drinking Red Bull and writing software. Any lessons you think that you could pass along to the group from the basement program that would apply to their world?
So when looking at Red Bull Basement, there's a couple of things I could say. The first one, we started to mention those 30 pages documentation and these kind of things. I think the first one is to just go and invest in the early ideas and to just go and try and experiment things. So trying to have this kind of agile environment, we don't always need a full-on business case or business plan. That would be the first thing to leave the freedom, and then once you have this freedom to also have the right enablers, and the enablers are the right technology to give the right tools, because if you don't have the right tools, everything takes much longer or just it's not accessible. So having this community of early adopters also help to also democratize those tools and those things. And of course, I would sprinkle a bit of purpose and meaningful of purpose, because that's when creativity and innovation really skyrockets, and that's what we see in our program.
And is everybody still writing business requirements documents in Word? Anybody still doing it? Come on, raise your hands if you are. But who has done it in the past? Everybody, right? Anybody who's worked in software, right? So we'll explain it to you guys later, okay? Okay, I think I'm clicking forward now. I wanted to see if there's anything you want to share about what's coming with the future before we open it up to questions in the room.
Sure. So actually, that's pretty exciting to see that Red Bull Basement, you see it on the screen, is coming back for a 6th global edition next year. So after, awesome. Yeah, and of course, again, in partnership with Microsoft and AMD. So we're going to take this edition even bigger. And after landing in the last 10 years with global finals in countries like Germany, Turkey, Canada, and Japan last year, we will be coming to the US with the World Final actually here in San Francisco at the heart of the Silicon Valley, and this will be in June.
Yeah. But wait, there's more.
There's more?
There's more. Don't you have one more thing?
Oh, okay. So actually, yes, there's one more thing. Is the global prize, because I mentioned in the past or in the previously that it's not only about the final prize. Actually, one good thing about Red Bull Basement is we really invest in everyone who is part of the program, and a lot of this is with all the tools and the resources and the mentoring that we provide. But still, there's a prize, and the global winner for next year will have a prize which is made of a custom-made accelerator program with our newly created in-house Red Bull Ventures, together with also on the side a cash prize of $100,000 to further develop their project.
Wow.
So that's a pretty exciting one.
Wow.
So maybe one more thing.
Yes, keep going.
And there's more.
And there's more. You get a car, you get a car.
Just to mention that, of course, we focus on the students, but this is open to anyone, and of course, it's free to participate. So if anyone has a great idea, this is your time to shine.
All right. Did you guys hear that? All right. We'll look for all of you next year. Okay. I think now we have about 10 minutes left, and we can open it up to the room for questions. I don't know how. Do we have mic runners? I think there's a mic right here. Oh, you have to do the walk. Okay, does somebody want to do the walk to the mic? Come on. We're relatively friendly. And they can be questions for us or, of course, for our winners who are still here with us. Nobody?
Not one question. How's Ignite so far? How about a question for you guys? Come on, let's hear it. Yay. All right.
Yeah? How was the keynote? Are you all buying stock in Zava? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We made it up. It's a made-up company. Okay, well, no other questions. I kind of want to get the two guys back up here and have them tell us where they actually were when they came up with the idea. Because did you notice they dodged my question? They did not answer that question. Where were you guys? Do you remember?
My room.
Paint the picture like in the movie with Zuck.
In a bar, on a napkin, you know, we sketch this thing out.
No, none of that? None of that? Okay. Okay, last chance for questions, guys. All right, well, you're a very, very quiet and thoughtful group, I guess. So with that, we'll wrap things up. I want to say thank you to everybody who joined us. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Gauthier, for being with us. Thank you to our winners. Let's give them a round of applause.
Yeah.
Stand up. Stand up. You have to stand up.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I hope you have a great rest of the show. See you next year with all your ideas. Bye.